Good morning, everyone. Welcome to what I'm calling a Sunday start. It's just to get you going, get you moving gently on a Sunday. So come with me, pour yourself a cup of tea if that's going to help you ease into this yoga practice. 20 minutes, half an hour most. And it's lovely stuff to move into first thing on a Sunday. Start on your knees and have your toes turned under, and this will waken up your feet nicely. You'll get a lovely stretch, and you're going to come forward on your mat and lower your forehead to the ground and take a moment or two to get adjusted to this lovely stretch. It's sort of a swan stretch, but we have our toes enlivened. The hips are moving back towards the heels. It's fine to have your knees out to the side, stretching forward into the fingertips, and you're broadening across the back. Take a few breaths here, and then move to the side. Pick your favourite side to move towards by padding your hands one by one out to the outer edges of your spot that you're practicing on this morning. You don't need anything, by the way, as long as you're on a soft surface. You don't need any fancy equipment. And get a lovely stretch along one side of the body, lowering the forehead down, releasing into the neck as well. It's a nice area to relax into. Few breaths here. Feel grounded through the feet and the knees. Enjoy this lovely side stretch. And pad your hands one by one and go all the way over in a big arc to the other side. All the way over as far as you can go. Lowering your hips, lowering your forehead. In an active surrender almost. Listening to and feeling the breath. And pad your hands back to the centre. Now, as it's Sunday, we're not going to jump about just yet. We're going to roll onto our backs. But you do need to have your brain kind of half awake to listen to these instructions. So we're drifting our feet up towards the ceiling. And we have to watch our lower back. So deepening the knees is the way around that. So lifting both legs if it feels comfortable for you. If not, have one foot grounded on the floor. It's totally fine. And we're going to bend into our right leg and draw the knee a little closer to the chest. Take your right hand and allow it to drop down onto the inside of your right leg and see if you can wrap your forearm around the bottom of the leg. So you're now taking the knee out to the side and you have a little bit of a purchase here onto the outside of the ankle. You're stretching your opposite arm away from you at shoulder height, palm facing down, and then like a little rocking mechanism, you're rocking your hips from side to side. Draw the chin in, engage the tummy so that you've got a nice flat back. And just enjoy this lovely aspect of yourself. Rocking from side to side. Could stay here all day, yeah? But we'll do the other side now. So almost release and allow that right leg to float and spiral up. Bend your left knee in towards the chest. Left arm comes down into the center line of the body, and if you feel up to it, you can wrap your forearm around the bottom of the leg so that the palm is cradling the ankle on the outside. Your opposite arm is a nice little counterbalance out to the side so that you can rock from side to side. Good. Well done. And again, just enjoy the legs spiraling up to the ground. Bring your arms behind you. And as you exhale, tuck the knees towards the chest. Do that another couple of times. Drifting the heels high, arms go back. Exhale, tucking in the knees. Inhale, nice and wide. And then we're going to come all the way up. So you might want to tuck your hands behind your knees. All the way up, rolling forward, back to where we started in the swan pose. Toes are tucked under, arms are ahead of us, forehead lowered. Tailbone is lifting, and we're moving into the shoulders. Now we're going to move from here into a back bend, so we'll do a gentle back bend to start with. And for those of you that feel okay to go on to a more advanced back bend, I'll give you that option, or you can stick with the easier alternative. So take a deep breath in as you come all the way forward, landing gently onto your tummy, sliding your forearms forward and allowing the chest to drop. So we're not throwing the head back, and if anything, we're lengthening through the back of the neck. And then lower the forehead, hands in line with the chest, toes tucked under, all the way back into your stretchy swan pose. This time we're going to go into a deeper back bend. If you'd rather do that gentle version, please drop your elbows as we come forward. For those of you who are doing the slightly stronger version, lower the hips, keep the arms nice and straight and point back with the toes and allow the collarbones to smile at the sun. And then scooping all the way back, tuck the toes under again. Back you go. Let's see if we can move with the breath this time. Inhaling, coming forward. Remember, push the toes back. Exhaling as you tuck the toes under and move all the way back. And it's sometimes nice when the yoga teacher shuts up for even just a minute to allow you to listen to your own breath and move at your own pace. Breath in, look up. Breath out, fold back. Do a couple more in your own time. And next time you come back, I'd like you to slide the arms forward, flip the toes back, and come into a kneeling position. Really well done. Back bends are wonderful. Should give you a nice focus for the day ahead. Let's come to tall kneeling. Pad your knees if you need to, put a blanket underneath. Tucking our toes under once again. And this time we're going to place our hands on the hips and we're moving the elbows towards each other. So we can already start to feel a back bend taking shape. The hips are coming forward. There's length in the front of the body and there's a nice expanse in the heart space. We keep the neck nice and long, we draw the chin in, and you can start to feel the thighs working quite strongly too. Elbows moving towards each other. Lift the heart space towards the sky. Breathing all the time through your nose, but hearing and listening to the breath at the back of the throat. Wonderful. Let's come forward into puppy pose. So this time the hips are above your knees, you're stretching forward and you're lowering the forehead down. And you're spine is almost disappearing behind your shoulder blades. They're moving like tectonic plates towards each other. Take a deep breath and pad the hands back towards the knees and come back into kneeling. Okay, you can repeat that, or you can come with me in a variation on Ustrasana, which is the camel pose. It's quite a deep back bend, but I'm giving you it's quite challenging, but it's not the full version of the pose. You're going to tuck your toes under. Remember to return to the hands to waist instead. But if you want to come with me, drift your right arm up and over. Take your left arm behind you, and if you can, see if you can gently lean back and touch the fingertips onto the left heel and allow your gaze to ascend. Squeezing the shoulder blades together, or moving them towards each other, I should say. And we're going to go to the other side. So you're spiraling this arm back and you're spiraling this arm up. So once you've got the hang of this, you can start to move in your own time with your own breath once again. And you'll be pleased to know that I'll be quiet while you do this. Remember to lift the heart. We're not leaning back too firmly into the heels. We're just lightly touching the heels with the fingertips. Make this your last couple of rounds. Slide your forearms forward and tuck, well, your toes are already tucked under. Allow your hips to float up and rock your hips from side to side. So you're lifting the toes and you're pivoting on the balls of the feet. And you're working nicely into the lower back. Well done. Let's walk our hands and feet towards each other. Slowly unfurling the spine and coming into a nice wide angled stance. So if you're in a bedroom, you can use the bed to fold onto and do a half forward bend or a window ledge. But if you want to come with me, hands on hips, and we'll come into a full forward bend. Remember, half bend is totally fine. Soften into your knees. Don't feel that you need to keep poker straight legs. And then allow your arms to drift down. It doesn't matter if they don't reach the ground. Allow just a moment to acclimatise. So lifting your tailbone a little bit, that cheeky little bone right at the base of the spine that was once our tail, it is lifting. The tummy is drawing in a little bit. And you're going to walk your hands to the right hand side. So you're padding over to your right. And if it feels okay, take your right hand to your hip. Now, if you want to go further, take the left hand onto the outside of your right heel. And further still, you may want to start to squeeze the tummy and rotate it and elevate your top arm. Go easy on it. Keep the knees soft. And relax into the shoulders. Maybe even bend the elbows if that helps with the rotation. Imagine that you're a spiraling galaxy. We're going to go to the other side as you lower down. Remember, if you're doing the half version of this, you can come out of it and then back into a half forward bend. For those of you who are coming with me on the spiral, taking your right hand onto the outside of the left ankle. And the top hand goes onto the hip. Maybe that's where we're going to pause. Dropping your weight down into the balls of the feet, but lifting with the arches of the feet. So you create this sort of polar opposite of energy. Balls of the feet dropping down, arches gently lifting. And then if you wish, you can allow the top arm to spiral up. Keep the knees and the elbows soft if you need to. Breathe. Notice your out breath, because Your exhale might give you a little bit more room and space to rotate. And then slowly allowing everything to cascade down to the middle line, deepening into the knees, hands on hips, and slowly coming up to standing. Let's go and face with a bit of, well, a yoga mat's length in front of you, just a bit of space in front of you. I'm going to get you to step forward with your right foot. Take a deep breath in, but turn your back foot out so that the back foot feels quite grounded. Deepening into this forward leg and swooping the arms up. Ground into that back heel, lengthen through the torso. Folding over that forward leg, come with me as you move back into downward dog. If you want, you can let that right leg float up. If you want to go further, you can turn the hip so that you can straighten the leg a little and open out the hip a little further with a little deepening into your standing leg. Fold into the knees if you're trying to kick the bottom, and then slowly return both feet to the ground. Look forward and take your left foot in between your hands, striding forward. Turn the back toe under and ground the heel. And then back into, I should have said, this is known as warrior pose. Beautiful grounding into that back heel if you can. Folding over the forward leg, ideally on an exhale, and then either back into downward dog or allow your left leg to float up. Bending into the knee, sole of the foot ascending, shoulders relaxing. And only if you want, you can start to turn that hip out, straighten the leg, only as an option. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale and lower yourself back down. Wonderful, well done. Let's take the feet forward now, and let's allow ourselves to lie down for a moment. Have the heels quite close to the hips, knees bent, palms flat. Come with me on an inhale by drifting the arms up above the head. Exhaling, bringing the arms back. And this time, as we inhale, we're lifting the arms up and we're tilting the pelvis towards the face. So there's a shortening between the ribs and the pelvis. And then as we bring the arms down, we are allowing the pelvis to return to its natural place. Inhaling, drawing the pelvis towards the face. It's very subtle. Exhaling and bringing the arms back. Now the next time you inhale, as you tilt the pelvis towards the face, you might want to then unpeel the spine from the ground. So you're coming into this modified version of bridge pose where you're pushing through the feet, coming into quite a nice back bend. Thighs are rolling in, the arms drifted beyond your head. Stay here for a couple of breaths. If you're finding this unsupportive, bring your arms forward and press into the arms by the side of the body instead. And take a deep breath in. And as you lower your arms, you coordinate a lowering of your spine one vertebrae at a time. Good. Draw the knees up towards the chest. Give yourself a hug. So I'm going to ask you now to find some wall space. Ideally not a door, because someone on a Sunday morning is liable to be not thinking, half asleep, and come bursting through and disturb your lovely, calm demeanour. So make sure it's a wall that's got a little bit, it's not a door, it's a wall. And bum shuffle up to it, okay? So you're taking one edge of your hips, doesn't matter which side, up to the edge of the wall. And then, this is the nice bit, especially for a Sunday, you're going to lower down and then you're going to swing your legs up. So your bum's stuck to the wall and your legs have moved vertical. Make this even more enjoyable for yourself by taking your arms way out to the side. It almost feels like you're in free fall. And we can allow our breath to settle here. If you want to come back to this at a later stage, a nice idea is to roll up a blanket and have it underneath your hips so your hips are elevated. But you can do that in your own time. Settle the hips down into the ground, spread across the collarbones so that the shoulders feel grounded. And allow the legs this unique opportunity to be light and to float upwards. And you're very welcome to stay here. But if you want to move into shoulder stand, come with me. You can bend one knee at a time and place your feet into the wall. And then you can start to walk up the wall. Now I've got a window in front of me, so it's not really going to work for me, but you're walking up your wall and you're bringing your elbows underneath your hips and planting your palms behind the top of the hips. You're then going to have a little think about taking off, drawing your chin in towards your chest, and maybe you want to lift one leg off. And maybe you're going to go all the way and lift both legs off the ground. And if you want to work into a stronger shoulder stand, bring your palms a little bit further down the back towards the ribs, supporting yourself beautifully. The ultimate in navel gazing. Feel that lovely stretch through the back of the neck and the shoulders. So it'd be nice to stay here for longer. Maybe this is something you can play around with this evening or later. But in the meantime, we're going to bring one foot back down onto the wall and the other one. And then allow the hips to descend all the way down. Draw your knees up towards your chest. You've got little choice because you're kind of rammed here now. And then roll on to any side and get ready for this short meditation. So meditation is sometimes a little misunderstood. It's sometimes felt as if we're being asked to stay perfectly still and empty our minds by suppressing thoughts. It's about sitting with our thoughts, being comfortable with our thoughts. And brilliant technique before we enter into anything like a meditative state is to use concentration techniques. This is based on the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. And we're going to use a concentration technique now. You can do it from sitting or lying, but be warm, be comfortable. Okay, so I'm going to sit. You can choose to lie, and if you are going to lie, make sure that you're warm and grounded. This meditation does, however, work nicely sitting. So you don't have to be cross-legged, you don't have to look like the Buddha. You can have your legs outstretched, you can be on the chair, you can even be sitting on the bed. And take a moment or two to settle yourselves and know that it is okay to move with awareness during a meditation. Notice how your body is moving with your breath. It's expanding on an inhale And there is a softening on an exhale. I want you to be aware of the front and the back of the body. And the back is strong and the front is soft. You can close your eyes and remind yourself of the strong back, soft front. And I'd like you now to imagine a sphere. And imagine that you are a sphere. You're a ball. You are completely symmetrical. You don't have a front or a back. You don't even have a face. It's all the same. Imagine you are this beautiful sphere. And I want you to imagine now that you have got a north pole at the top of your head and a south pole at the base of your spine. Take your awareness to the South Pole and imagine here that the lower part of the spine is connecting beautifully with the ground that you, this beautiful sphere, is resting on. You are grounding, rooting, softening, even descending into this space. And you are very accepting and willing to let go and let the ground comfort and support you. This is your South Pole. And I'd like you to take your awareness to the opposite end, above the crown of your head, and this is your North Pole. And I want you to imagine that there is a beautiful aurora around your North Pole. There is the solar wind, the charged particles interacting with the magnetic field in your South Pole. And I want you to imagine that you're spiraling up, being drawn towards this magnetic field in your North Pole. The chin is drawn in, the back of the neck is long, the shoulders are soft, the crown is ascending into this magnetic field, drawing the energy up. And I want you to breathe as if you're breathing on an inhale, all the way through the crown of the head to this magnetic field above it, your North Pole. And as you exhale, imagine that you're breathing to your South Pole. Breathing in, drawing that energy to this wonderful magnetic draw above your head. And as you breathe out, breathe beyond your physical sphere and into the supporting ground. Do that another couple of times, just twice. I'd like you now to allow your breath to return to its natural, lovely rhythmic flow. And I want you to return to this analogy that you are a glowing sphere, symmetrical. And this time, as well as not having a front or a back, you don't have a north, you don't have a south. There is no east, there is no west. And there is no left, and there is no right. You are completely symmetrical in this beautiful glowing sphere. Simply be in this wonderful sphere for another few moments. So you have a strong center radiating in every direction of your being. The very core of your being, to the edge of the sphere that you have become and beyond. Without any polarities, there is this infinite space beyond. Just take a couple more breaths here with this visualization at play. And then on your next inhalation, I want you to feel the fingers and the toes. You might even want to start to wiggle them. I want you to feel the weight of your body descending into the earth. Start to notice your surroundings, maybe the warmth of the light on your skin, the air brushing over the surface of your skin. Sounds around you in your own home, sounds beyond and into the external, near and far. And then allow your weight to come forward and plant your hands into the earth and just feel the solid floor underneath you for a moment or two. Start to maybe drum your fingers onto the earth, feel those vibrations. And then walk the hands towards you, opening your eyes. Really well done. Staying perfectly still, sitting with our thoughts and going on these wacky imaginations is not easy, but you've done it. 5 or 10 minutes of meditation at the end of our Sunday Start yoga practice. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure that you have a nice big stretch and have a lovely day. Thank you all.